For months, I had been watching my wife, Claire, drift away. I noticed the subtle changes, late nights at work, her sudden obsession with her appearance, the way she'd keep her phone clutched in her hand like it was a lifeline, the distance growing between us. The touch I used to crave from her had disappeared, replaced with cold indifference. I wasn't blind. I knew what was happening long before she had the courage to admit it. That evening, I sat across from her at the dinner table, the clink of her wine glass filling the silence. She leaned back in her chair, her eyes glinting with a smugness that sent a chill down my spine. There was a calmness in her demeanor, a calculated coolness, as if she were about to announce some trivial news. "I'm tired of hiding," she said casually, swirling her wine. "Just so you know, I have a great, enduring lover. And now, he'll occasionally stay overnight at our place." Her words hit me like a slap in the face, but I refused to let her see the anger boiling beneath the surface. I took a slow breath, letting the shock pass. The one thing she didn't expect was for me to remain calm, almost eerily so. She was waiting for a reaction, for me to scream, to beg, to plead, to be desperate. But instead, I gave her a small, knowing smile. "I think he'll be useless to you," I said softly, lifting my coffee cup to my lips. "Considering he's already lost his main tool." For a split second, her smirk faltered. Her eyes widened in confusion as she processed my words. "What the hell are you talking about?" she demanded. I set my cup down gently, leaning forward to meet her gaze. "You're about to find out." Her composure faltered. I could see the fear creeping into her expression, the realization that things weren't going to play out the way she imagined. She'd expected outrage, perhaps even a breakdown. But what she got was something far worse. A calm, controlled response. A hint that I had already made my peace with what was happening and was simply waiting for the right moment to strike. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. "You'll see soon enough," I replied coolly, standing up. "I suggest you make the most of tonight. It's the last time things will feel normal." I left her sitting at the table, her mind racing with uncertainty. She had no idea what was coming next. The plan I'd been quietly orchestrating for weeks was about to unfold. From the moment I'd first suspected her infidelity, I didn't confront her. I observed. I tracked her routines, planted hidden cameras, even followed her once just to confirm what I already knew. Her great enduring lover was a pathetic excuse for a man named Daniel, and he had no clue that I had been digging into his entire life. I uncovered everything: his workplace, his criminal record, which was conveniently hidden from Claire, his financial mess, his weaknesses, and most damning of all, his medical records. That's when I found the perfect leverage to destroy him. I let the night unfold as it had countless times before, pretending to go to bed early, leaving Claire alone to prepare for her tryst. Just as I expected, she got up, fixed her makeup, and sent a message. Moments later, Daniel strolled into my home, unaware that he was walking into a trap. I watched them get comfortable, letting them believe they were safe, before I made my move. I sent an anonymous email to the authorities, and within minutes, police sirens screamed outside. The door was kicked open, officers swarming in with guns drawn. Daniel's face went ashen when he saw them. "What the hell is this?" he stammered. One officer grabbed him by the collar, slamming him against the wall. "Daniel Carter, you're under arrest for fraud, embezzlement, and identity theft. You have the right to remain silent." I descended the stairs slowly, deliberately, relishing the moment. Claire's eyes locked onto mine, her face twisting with horror as she whispered, You did this." I smiled. "Of course I did. Did you really think I'd just let this slide?" She lunged at me, but an officer stepped in and held her back. "Careful," I said calmly. "You're still legally my wife. And once I'm done with you, you'll be left with nothing." The next few hours were a whirlwind of chaos for Claire. She was forced to watch her lover, her partner in crime, being dragged away in handcuffs. But that was just the beginning. As the shock began to wear off, I leaned in and delivered the final blow. "You still don't get it, do you?" I said, pulling out my phone. "I wasn't just watching you two fool around, Claire. I've been digging into his life, and I found everything I needed to make sure he never walks free." Claire's face drained of color as I showed her the evidence. Screenshots, chat logs, financial transactions, everything. And the clincher, a record of Daniel soliciting underage girls online. "Tell me," I asked coldly, "what do you think happens when the court finds out that you not only cheated with this guy, but brought him into our home, introduced him to our neighbors, let him stay around our friends? How do you think that's going to look?" Her hands shook as she looked at the proof, the doubt in her voice unmistakable. "You're lying," she whispered, but I could see the panic setting in. I turned the phone to her, letting her see the full scope of her actions. "You didn't care. But now you'll go down with him. Financial ruin, a destroyed reputation." I wasn't done. "Oh, and about your bank accounts." I pulled out my own phone. "I've been tracking everything, Claire. Every dollar spent on your affair, every shady little transaction. I made sure when I filed for divorce today, you'd walk away with nothing. And the house? It's mine. Remember the prenup?" Her face crumpled. She grabbed her phone, frantically checking her accounts, only to find them empty. "You're lying," she whispered, her voice cracking. "Check for yourself," I said, my voice low and final. "The house is mine. You're penniless, Claire, and you have 30 days to vacate." I turned to leave, but not before delivering the final piece of the puzzle. "You might want to take a seat," I said. "Your life is about to get a lot more complicated." She was still standing there, staring at me in disbelief when I walked out the door, leaving her in the ruins of her own choices. By morning, Claire's world was unrecognizable. The screenshots, the police report, the evidence, it spread like wildfire. Her friends turned on her. Her family disowned her. Her co-workers, once admiring her, now viewed her with disgust. She was the town's most hated woman, a laughingstock. Her great enduring lover, Daniel, was denied bail. It turned out being exposed as a predator didn't sit well with judges. The divorce papers had been served, and the house was mine. Claire had lost everything. She called me later that night, sobbing, begging for forgiveness. "I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Please, I have nowhere to go." I let her ramble on, letting her taste the desperation she had forced upon me for months. "Not my problem," I replied and hung up. She sent dozens of messages, all of which I ignored. She chose this path. Now she could suffer the consequences. A week later, Claire came to my door broken. Her makeup smeared, her hair a mess, a shell of the woman who had once smirked at me. "Please," she begged, her voice cracking. "I need your help. I don't have anyone else." I took one look at her. The same woman who had once thought she was untouchable, now completely ruined. "So what happened to your great enduring lover?" I asked, my voice tinged with amusement. "He's gone," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "He won't even take my calls." I chuckled softly. "Yeah, neither will I." And with that, I slammed the door in her face. She collapsed in a heap, sobbing uncontrollably, but I didn't care. She was dead to me. She had made her bed, and now she could lie in it. I walked away, leaving her to drown in the wreckage she had built for herself. Was my revenge justified? Or did it go too far? The question lingers, but one thing is certain. I no longer cared.